Hello, everyone. Amazing news from Paraguay. There is now a path to permanent residency that is immediate for an investment in real estate. So, Matt, you've been a while in Paraguay and you have two businesses, which is really perfect for you and perfect for clients. One, you help people obtain residency in Paraguay, and two, you have now a large real estate agency focusing on investors in Paraguay. So you're pretty much the only provider that does both residency and real estate in-house. So can you tell us about the changes?
Yes, so basically there was already a program designed for investors wanting to settle a company, which was the SUACE program, 70K with 5 employees. This still exists, but now there are 3 new ways to invest. So the first way would be to invest in tourism. Paraguay really wants to develop this side of the country. So you have to spend 150K. You need a business plan, and then if it's approved, you can get the permanent directly. The second way is to invest in stock exchange. You need to spend 200K. And the thing is, you need to keep it at least for 2 years, and then you will get the permanent.
Do you get the permanent immediately and then you have
No,
to keep the stocks for 2 years, or do you get after 2 years?
You get the permanent immediately, and then you have to keep it for at least 2 years. And then the third way is, for us, the most interesting, of course, is the real estate way. So you also need to spend $200,000. And with that investment, you can get the permanent. About real estate, what you need to understand is that it needs to be for investment purposes. If it's for your family, if it's a house to live, it's not designed for this program. This is really designed for investors. So the entrance ticket is 200K. We don't have the information yet if it can be divided between different projects. From what we understand of the law, it should be possible, but we're still waiting for confirmation about this. The good news is that you can invest in off-plan projects. It's totally approved. The minimum you need to spend is 30% of the total amount. So you just do a payment of 30%. And you are eligible for this program.
Off-plan, pre-construction. So effectively, with just a deposit of $60,000, which would equate to 30% of a $200,000 pre-construction unit, you can get your permanent residency now.
Exactly.
All right, this is quite interesting. And then you can spread it across, potentially still not confirmed, across a few units. Question, is this valid for the whole family or for a single person?
When it comes to investment, we are also waiting for confirmation. This should be per person normally. Yeah. When it comes for the children, of course, this should be attached to the parents. It's no problem. But when it comes to your wife or to your husband, it should be per person.
So the children could get permanent residency immediately as well?
We are still awaiting confirmation, but it should be possible this way.
Yeah, so on our end, we've been processing as well through the SUACE program. The SUACE program also has a special deal to promote culture in Paraguay. So we've been helping people invest in Paraguay films. So if people make an investment of $40,000 in a Paraguay film, they can get permanent residency immediately. So again, we're not saying it's a great investment, but it's just, 40K, boom, you're done. From our experience, it's only the main applicant. Yeah. So children will have to see, but you cannot add your spouse or your parents or et cetera to it. It's just per main applicant. So that's really an important downside really of this program. So if you want permanent residency for the whole family immediately, then you'd be looking at 200 times probably 2 for you and your spouse. This being said, there are so many projects right now in Asuncion. I was in Asuncion a few weeks ago. We went to see a few of these projects. One of them was quite interesting. It's possible to get 10% net after taxes on Airbnb. There was another one where you can make 5 to 6% on the long-term market, in a conservative way pretty easily. So people just need to be careful. I think this is the main message I'll have is what is likely to happen. What is likely to happen is that people will want the permanent residency. They'll get in touch with whatever agency that specializes in residency. And then when asked, what should I invest in? That company will have a deal with either, a single developer or whatever. They're not experts in real estate. So I really recommend that you get in touch with Matt if you're interested in the real estate option, because you have a whole team fully dedicated to real estate, focusing specifically on investors, not just like lifestyle investors, but actual investors that want returns. And then you can do all of the numbers on a spreadsheet. When you look at a unit, you'll get a spreadsheet with all the ROI projections, with occupancy rates and this and all expenses. And then you guys do all of the property management as well. Because what you don't want is to go through a normal residency agency and then you're just kind of sold a random development and then you have to figure out the property management yourself and then no one's really accountable there. Here you go and you'll have the full service from A to Z with Matt. And if he tells you you're going to get X% in terms of returns on investment, he doesn't want to lie because ultimately he'll be the one managing the property and he wants to deliver the numbers. So strong recommendation. I think this is very interesting for people that are not patient and want PR now, especially with everything that's going around the world. The classical way of getting temporary residency first still works, but it's getting tougher and tougher. Every year they keep adding more paperwork and more little quirks that make the process a bit more heavy. Can you say a few words about this, Matt? Because you've been dealing with this. You've been dealing mostly with temporary residency up to now. People doing temporary residency for 2.5 years, and then getting permanent residency. It's become tougher for you guys.
Yes, totally. We saw in the past month that the government was making more and more verifications, that there were actual laws that existed before, but now they are into application. It will be only more difficult in the future. And this project to get the permanent directly through real estate for me is a great opportunity for a lot of people, because I can totally understand that you don't probably have the time to stay in Paraguay. And if that's the case for you, maybe you would be better off investing in an apartment. You would get a good return anyway. It's not money that you waste. So in my opinion, it's a great option. And also something that we tended to see in other countries is that when there are such programs, there is a lot of problems with the prices, because some people, they just want the residency and they buy pretty much anything and they get overcharged for what they get. If you want to do it by your own, that's possible, but I would suggest that you be really careful about what you're looking into. And if you need any help, we will be here.
Here, the biggest challenge is getting the right investment more than the person processing the residency, which is, it's a bureaucratic process, but ultimately it's fairly straightforward, if I can put it that way. So just keep that in mind. And $200,000 gets you a lot of real estate right now in Asuncion. Real estate is still very affordable for capital city. You'll get a lot of real estate.
Actually, last week we had a client that bought 4 apartments with us, and I think it was for less than 200,000, sorry.
I wrote a whole article on the real estate market in Asuncion, the neighborhoods that are interesting, the neighborhoods that are not so interesting, some key learnings. There's a link below. And if you want to get in touch with Matt, there's a link below. Matt can help you from A to Z, residency, real estate, property management, the whole deal. Matt, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks for your time as well, and we'll get in touch soon.
Make sure to download my free ebook, 12 Mistakes to Avoid When Investing in International Real Estate, which you can find on my website, link below, and feel free to follow me on Instagram @TheWandering Investor. I look forward to hearing from you.